Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
Nick Boogastad.
Let's talk Devils and Islanders. Let's talk Penguins and Rangers. But let's not talk about Flyers, because they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
Episode 121 of the Friends and Rivals podcast coming at you live and hot. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Harkness. Joining me each week are...
He sure was robbed. This is Stephen Wojtowicz.
Way to hang in there, Chris Letang. This is Bill Fougere.
Just sit right back down, Ilya. This is Nick Loretta.
I thought you were going to start singing for the guys in the sub. No?
Oh, too soon?
Wow.
No.
Too soon? Really? Too soon?
No,
Duh.
not really. Not for
Have
this
you
story.
not been on
Honestly,
fucking Twitter?
honestly, I don't think it's too soon. Okay, they put
No,
themselves in
I
that
agree.
grave,
Exactly.
and it costs $250,000 a ticket. Okay, I mean, the only people who are going this thing are one guy was a billionaire and dragged his son to it. The other guy and the other two people I think were also probably millionaires. I don't really remember their circumstances, but who cares, man? Like, they didn't die horrific deaths. They just, imploded immediately.
In a situation like that, can you go, yeah, but the bodies aren't even cold yet?
Oh, no.
Oh, they're
No,
cold.
they got sued.
Oh, they're
very
cold.
quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They were
And
cold
not to
before
mention-
it imploded.
Not to mention that if you read into this company, they fired the guy that was like the operations manager for earlier a few years back, and because he basically was like, hey, this is not a good idea. You're making this shell out of a material that is not meant to. It's basically going to have small defects in it in the hull that will effectively over time. We don't know how long over time it will crack. And they're like, we're just going to put sensors on it, and we fired that guy. And the sensors are going to tell us when it's going to crack, and we'll just come back to the surface. When that is basically, when James Cameron, who's basically, you guys know who he is. He made Titanic and all these movies. All of his movies are in the water because he's basically become obsessed with water. He has one of the only vehicles that can get down to the Marina Trench and has visited, I think it's Marina Trench, I could be wrong, but has gone down to see the Titanic number of times. And even he goes, hey, listen, by Monday, when this all had happened already, I reached out to the community, and we all concluded the same thing, that basically they imploded on the way down. We couldn't say anything because, we look like assholes. So we waited till afterwards to say something. But there was a loud bang heard by the Navy. We all in the community knew about it. And basically, this guy's an idiot who designed this whole thing because he should have used steel. It was cheaper. It made sense, but he had to go this other route. And we all in the industry all thought he was crazy. And here, look at that. 6 or 7 dives, and it's all of a sudden gone.
Why didn't they just use that liquid that they put on the screen that they made the boat out of? What's that? The Flex Seal. Why didn't they just use that stuff?
Probably doesn't do well. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. That's not my field. Why would I do that?
Ask James Cameron next time you talk to him, because it sounds like you're pretty good friends with him.
I'm
So,
hugely friends. We talk all the time.
Knowing what you know now, would you rather go to the bottom of the ocean in a submarine or to the moon or Mars? Which would you rather do?
I have no interest in the bottom of the sea, to be quite frank. None whatsoever.
I would say
take me to space.
I'd say the moon as opposed to Mars.
Closer?
The moon seems like a safer bet right now.
You get that good view of Earth.
Yeah.
Mars is just Earth is just going to look like a star.
Plus, I'd be the first one up there. I'd be the first one up there since the moon landing was fake.
Yeah, I mean, if you just go into Mars now, it's like shitty Earth. Like, you get there, you're like, wow, sweet.
Wait,
What
we
am I gonna do
did
here
something. Are we going to get into fake moon landings now?
No.
What's fucking
no.
what kind of podcast is
Let's
this?
roll it over.
This is all the content we got, boys.
Let's have fucking Biz Nasty on the fucking podcast. He couldn't be. It's just so we're watching and recording during the NHL Award ceremony. First off, the award ceremony is just unwatchable in Nashville. I guess it's watchable if you really, really like country music. Anybody?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Ugh.
No. And you're a big fan of the pregame what is that? The
Hosts.
yeah, well, yeah, but it's the in-show or the in-studio hosts, Lee McHugh and Biz Nasty. I mean, it's
Double yuck.
God in heaven.
So
It's
let me give my observation here.
please.
Usually it takes about a good 10 to 12 years for somebody's on-air personality to elevate itself to caricature level, right? I feel like Oberman, he did his thing on ESPN, on SportsCenter, and it took about 10 years until he was just a character of himself. And the same thing with like John Sterling. After a certain point, it gets to be just overly goofy, like he's going over the top. Biz has done that in under 2 years.
I mean, he has to, right? Or he feels like he has to, because he's like.
But he doesn't. That's the whole thing. He doesn't have to, but he's doing it anyway.
I mean,
I think that's really who he is.
I used to like Liam McHugh. I thought he was good, but ever since Biz has been on the show, he's been he brings everybody else down.
He's got to play into it.
It's upsetting. The whole thing with Frank Saravelli and then with Connor Bedard. I mean, come on, dude. Come on. Would you have a cup of coffee in the NHL? Anyway. Well, we are 1 and 2 or 1 for 3 or now 1 for what? 1 for 4 now. For local teams. The only possible saving
podcast teams.
Yeah, podcast. Is it local podcast? I meant the same thing.
It's different.
Okay, it's different. Hard tax
You're
and
wrong.
shirts are different too.
You're wrong.
You're right. I am. So Chris Letang is the only one out of our team so far to win an award, and that was not even is it a hockey related? It's a hockey related.
Way to go, Chris. Way to almost die, but not die, and then just keep playing. That's how you win major awards. Congratulations on your perseverance.
It gives Nico and Jack something to, set a goal on.
What, just to get hurt and
Just
come back
get hurt and then come
award?
back, and then you can win an award.
Don't do a stroke though. You got to do something original. Maybe a kidney transplant.
There's nothing worse than copying somebody else.
Sorokin lost the Vezina to Allmark. I think that was
clear number 2. Clear number 2. 127 points. Oh, I thought that's useless to talk about. 22 first place votes and then 17 second place votes for Sorokin. So, and then there was it wasn't really a close third. It was really Hellebuyck is basically an easy step down to third place. It was really an Allmark only winning this because Boston. I honestly don't think Allmark's that great. I honestly think this year is going to be that year where Allmark shoots up because of this. And then next year, Sorokin's still very good. Hellebuyck should still be very good. But I think next year will be back to the normal Sorokin and Shesterkin duo next year. I don't think Allmark. He's a good goalie. I think it's going to be the 3 Russians again next year. Personally, I think the underrated
Vasilevsky.
The underrated Vasilevsky.
Coming right back.
He's coming back, baby.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
Jack Hughes loses the Lady Bing award to Anse Kopitar.
Yeah, the award nobody gives a shit about.
I don't even know how you vote on that. How do you even vote on it?
I think it's the least amount of penalty minutes. Do they go by that anymore?
No, I don't think so, because
like Gretzky, Datsuk used to win that all the time.
I think they only had 2
a year.
Isn't it supposed to be like the sportsmanship award? So like, I don't know. You do
but how
something.
How else do you measure it?
I mean,
if you pick up the puck for the refs, after a stoppage in play or something.
Exactly. You give your stick to the disabled kids.
I don't know.
What exactly were we looking at? It's just an award that should go away. Like,
he lost a whole bunch of faceoffs, so that should play in his favor, right?
You're giving
the other team possession of the puck.
The most giveaways in the
league.
This should be the most giveaways, right?
I don't know how you measure it, but whatever.
And Nico Hischier lost the Selke to Patrice Bergeron, who just he's done, right? He's not coming back.
Is he
next
going to
year, right?
retire? I feel like he's been about to retire for like 5 years.
He hasn't made up their mind or his mind on what he's going to do. But
I hope for Nico's sake
Krejci.
he does. Not only for that, because it would also screw Boston over so bad.
Oh, please.
They just traded. Oh, are we going to the 7 next? I guess. with
Yeah, I
trades,
mean,
or-
go right.
Go
Listen,
ahead.
we have an outline for an agenda on a very, very slow week for our teams. So knock yourselves out. No, really.
Yeah. So I guess we talk about that because that's the big trade today. Taylor Hall goes to on a 50% retainer rate. Was that what it was? No.
Yep.
50%?
Oh no,
it
there was no
full deal.
returner. There
This
was no
the full
retainer.
one. Yeah.
Complete
Him
salary
and
dump.
the rights to Foligno for the rights over to Chicago for the rights to 2 guys who are AHL players. Apparently, I don't even know their names. And Foligno they might try to re-sign, but he's a UFA. And then you obviously have what was it, 2 or 3 years? I think it's 2 years left on Hall's deal at $6 million a year. The interesting thing about this deal, aside from the fact that it's a complete dump of contract money, so about $6 million off the books for Boston, giving them complete freedom. So thanks, Chicago. Is that they didn't have to consult Hall in the deal because this wasn't one of the teams on the no trade clause, so they didn't have to be consulted for it. So they just see you later. And I guess that is how it works, but like it kind of is like, damn, man, if you think about it, Hall went there because they're Boston, and he apparently took a slight, a better deal or gave them a better deal because it was Boston. So he's like, I'll give them $2 million or $1 million off my contract just to be in Boston. Now he goes to Chicago on his 6th team in however many years it's been now since he's been drafted. Pretty much on the worst team in the league probably next year. He'll get to play with Bedard, obviously, but that's
no, Philly's
not
going to
what he
give them a
wanted.
run. Philly's going to give them a run for their money for the worst team in the league next year. Sorry. Especially with the deal that they're trying to pull off and all the salaries that they're trying to dump too. And you know what? If I was Torrey Krug, I wouldn't want to go to fucking Philly either.
Fuck the Flyers.
Fuck the Flyers.
For real.
But I mean,
now you say gives Boston freedom, but Boston's at
it gives them flexibility, I think.
Does it though? They have $11 million in cap space. And they've only got 14 players signed. So you need to sign at least 6 players with $10 million.
Well, they got 2 from Chicago that they'll re-sign pretty cheap.
I mean, they got
including
a lot of
your
UFAs.
captain. I don't know, man.
Well, Swayman, I think the right move here is they trade Ullmark away and re-sign Swayman for less than Ullmark. Ullmark's making $5 million a year for 2 more years. He's capped, so he doesn't have. They don't have. It's not a killer thing, but he's not going to be better than this, in my opinion. I think you trade him now. Wins the Vezina. He's some sort of no trade clause modified. So, but you get anything you can get for him right now. You have a guy that's 24 in Swayman. Looks probably about the same as Ullmark. Both played well in the same system. I don't think it matters, but at least with Swayman, he's an RFA. He'll re-sign for, probably a decent bridge deal. You could probably sign him for, maybe you get him for like a 4 or 5 year deal, at a good price because they think, maybe he's like, okay, well, I'll be the 1A, 1B with Ullmark. Sign him long term as best you can here. Buy as many as UFA years as you can. Get rid of Ullmark, and there's your window. You have him for at least this period of time, and then you can, potentially, move maybe somebody else, maybe.
Well, they were also
Zaka.
said to be in talks with an extension for Bertuzzi. But if Krejci and Bergeron don't come back next year, what type of system are you going to be running in Boston?
Well, it's not Krejci. It's Bergeron.
Well,
It's
yes, it's
Bergeron.
Bergeron, but
That's
both
the
of
real
those guys have the potential for not coming back. And there's your 1 and 2 centers.
Yeah, you're not kidding. What did Bergeron play last year for? He played for
Boston.
no.
Very good, Bill.
That's it.
5.
You're not the best you're the best for a reason, Bill.
His
All right.
his
His
AAV
seven.
was 5 million, but his cap hit was only 2.5 because of the injury.
So what if he comes back for like 2.5 for a year, something crazy?
Why would
and
he
he's-
do that?
He loves
Because
Boston.
he's a fucking asshole. That's why.
Yeah, that too. He's a fucking
No,
asshole.
you know why? Because he wants to win another Selke trophy. That's why.
Yeah, well.
Because he wants to win the cup again. There's no reason to come back and win a Selke. He's got 6. He doesn't need to win. He wants to win a cup. That would be the only reason he comes back. And if he comes back to try and win a cup, he's already made his money. He's going to come back for cheap, and it's going to be everyone's going to be pissed because he's a Selke winner at 37, and everybody knows if he comes back, he's going to win the Selke again. He's going to be a dominant player, and he's going to do it for like some stupid amount of money that everyone's going to be pissed about. So prepare
Just
yourself, boys.
make it the league minimum then. Don't even sign for the 2.5. Just do the league minimum.
If he does, the league should reject that fucking deal.
Oh, man.
Could you imagine? Oh man, that would be just the opposite of the tank. They'd be like like just bring all your best players here. Move. That's like the super team move.
And now no, we're not there yet. I have no idea what's
Oh.
going on today.
We're
You know,
not
I have no idea.
We're not even close to that.
What's-
We're 5 minutes into the show.
All right. What do we need for your draft team? What do you need? This draft is coming up this Wednesday. Nobody gives a shit about these awards. What do you guys want to see on your team draft day?
When are we? What number are the Rangers drafting? 23, I think 23. Look, I
Penguins
would
are
say
14.
I would say best player available, but if you got a right wing or a center sitting there, I think you got to pull the trigger. Who's at least halfway decent and halfway up your draft board. He may not be the number 1 guy or the best player available at that point in time, but if there's a center or right wing there, I think you got to pull the trigger.
So yes, that's Rangers at 23.
Yeah.
So you're looking
Penguins
for a
at
center.
14.
A center or a right wing.
Okay.
So what the
Billy.
Penguins can really use is everything. When you
I hear you
think
guys
about-
need a defenseman.
when you think about that, anybody that they draft at 14, if he's going to make it in the NHL at all, ideally, we hope he does. It's at least 2-3 years down the line. What's the state of this team going to be? With Crosby 2 years older, Malkin 2 years older. I mean, hell, can they get a first line all-star center at number 14 in a couple of years? Probably not. Maybe weirder things have happened. It's a first-round pick. It could happen, but shit, they need
Is
it
it
all, man.
2003?
They
Is
need
it
literally
2003, Bill?
everything.
No, it's not.
They need literally everything. So, and nobody that they draft is gonna help this season, next season for sure. Iffy about the season after that. Even if he's tracking to be a good player, even if he's tracking to get to the NHL, it's gonna take a few years.
Yeah.
It's So basically, best player on the board, go for it. You know.
Is this just like go for the home run guys that'll be impacts 2, 3 years, 4 years from now? Because I mean, everybody's old. This window is so tight. I don't see how they can do anything else but go for those home runs.
Yeah, well, but I don't know what you expect to find in the middle of the first round. A guy who's going to make an impact anytime in the near future. It's that'd be a pretty decent magic trick. We'll see if
Do you think
Dubas got one up his sleeve.
Dubas will try to move up?
I think if he does think it's somebody, only if he does think it's somebody that's going to make an immediate impact. Otherwise, I don't see any reason to trade away an asset.
Or more likely, do you think that Dubas would move back in the draft, in this deep draft, to try and pick up a second rounder because they don't have a second rounder, they don't have a fourth rounder. Do you think potentially that might be more of the options that he goes with?
I do, and I think especially if that comes with if moving back in the draft comes with a player that he thinks he might be a good depth piece, like even like a fourth line guy that could pick up and play immediately. Yeah, I think that could happen.
Yeah, that was something that Garth Snow did when he came in his second year when they really initiated the rebuild in 2008. He started moving back and getting just accumulating draft picks, and it was such a good play. I thought it made so much sense because we ended up getting extra guys. We ended up using a bunch of those to draft Calvin DeHaan next year, trading up twice, which was a big, big usage of those picks. But the point was, previous year he just kept doing that and moving back and grabbing picks, and it just kind of snowballed. It wasn't as drastic as something that like the Coyotes did this past 2 years, I guess. But it's been it was interesting.
I love being a guest on Nick's podcast. This is
a Nick cast tonight, baby. I love it. I can sit back and not do a fucking thing.
I get excited about the draft. So
Nick's our draft
really
guru.
So by the way, I have a draft ritual which I started doing with my buddy Dan back in I don't know, like 10 years ago now. I think
what kind of whiskey?
No, we did. It was funny. I found out he's a big hockey fan. He's a Rangers fan, of course.
I love him already.
Yeah, you'd love him. He would talk your ear off, and yeah, he'd love it. But anyway, we just bought the first draft we got together. We got a big ass bucket of chicken and a couple Pepsis, and we just went to town. And that became a ritual. It was just fried chicken and whatever else you want. But just
I'm assuming you mean on draft night.
On draft night, we watched the draft, make fun of each other's draft picks. I was at his house when we drafted Tavares, and also his house next year when we drafted Niederreiter, and traded that. Was it the trade the year after, 2 years later? I think it was like 2 years later. But anyway, that's the draft. That's the ritual. So on Wednesday, me and Ben are by ourselves. So I told him like, hey, we're getting a big ass bucket of chicken. We're sitting down and watching the draft I'll be watching it for 3 hours. Well, you watch for as long as you want, but as long as you'll tolerate.
I could just see Nick with his fucking styrofoam board, pegging picks,
yeah,
figuring out who can trade who to move up or move down, who's falling down the draft board. Amazing.
Obviously, I wish I had more time to actually spend to look at all the drafts, the different draftees this year. That'd be fun to do. I like watching stuff on all the prospects, but
I bet what you really wish is that your team had a first round pick.
Yeah, I wish we had a first round pick for the last 4 years, but that's been we're in the Lou phase of just not that, opposite of that. So I'm hoping, as an Islander fan, that we can move Josh Bailey before the draft or during the draft, get something for him after watching a couple guys get traded for basically nothing. Alex Galchenuk went to
my favorite game. My favorite game. Nick trying to pronounce hockey last names. It's so much fun.
Was that supposed to be Galchenyuk?
Yes.
Yeah,
whatever.
Galchenyuk.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Galchenuk for Ryan Johansson. And by the way, Ryan Johansson goes to the Avs for $8 million deal, but he has normally, but they're retaining 50% of that. So Ryan Johansson goes over to Avs, become the second center there from Nashville. That's a pretty good deal, but that's another place that Bailey can't go. So I'm kind of concerned about that because we have to move him. It's already been like, we didn't play him for a couple of games in the year, missed out on playing 1,000 games at the home. Both sides, Bailey and the front office are clearly not. They're going different directions. He has to be moved, and he's only got a year on his deal. It's not a bad deal. And he can. I thought he'd go to Chicago.
How old is Bailey?
34.
That's well within Penguin range. We're gonna put him on a win with Carter.
Yeah.
We'll take him. We got the cap space. Surprisingly,
We'll
do it.
He's ready to go. He's ready to go, man. He's Is this his last year as an Islander if he was going to play? But really, they're going to move him, and they need the cap space to try and sign Engvall and a couple other guys. So that's going to be the move. But anyway, Miles, we have a really shitty pool of prospects right now. A couple guys that are pretty good that look like they could be, potential players, but in the NHL. But honestly, dude, there's a lot of areas they need. So best player available would be the name of the game, much like Tom said. But we kind of need a lot of help in areas. I think a forward's really a major need, in my opinion. They have guys that are kind of coming up and go and potentials, but no blue chip forward. And the defensive core on the team is pretty young, relatively. So I don't feel like that's as important to look at right now. And I think that's really the major thing is a replacement for the center position or a wing that could be potentially a guy in a couple of years. So that's the Isles.
Likewise, my team is on the outside looking in on the first round. If there was a wish outside of it being them trading into the first round, would be some sort of middle six scoring winger. Preferably with some size, preferably not Russian. As we always seem to find these Russian guys that just don't want to come over until they're 24 or 25 years old. So that would be my wish list.
Isn't that Holtz?
Holtz was
Isn't
actually told
what you described exactly what Holtz
So
is?
Holtz isn't a two-way winger. He doesn't play both ways. He's not really that defensive minded. He's
Not what
also
I
not
heard.
that big. I just found out today, there was an article in the Star Ledger. Holtz was told it's make or break this year.
Really?
Yeah. Either you're going to come to camp, we're going to give you the opportunity, and you're going to earn the spot, or you might be on the outside looking in.
Can you play right
I feel
wing?
like,
He
I feel like
does,
Heedle's
yes.
in that boat too. This is the year for Heedle too.
Oh yeah, Heedle's big make or break here. And actually, I heard they kind of warned Riley Walsh that he might be on the outside looking in at during his exit interview, and he
Didn't they
got
just trade
traded
him?
today.
Yeah, did he just get traded?
Yeah. So now
Now, there
those
was-
two things came out the last 2 days, and I don't know if the Walsh article was sort of like a precursor to the trade, with management trying to say, hey, if we get this out there and then we trade him, we kind of show that we stand behind what we mean. So maybe Holtz will take that as, oh wait, these guys aren't fucking around. They mean what they say. I better get my ass in motion. And now it's time.
We have nothing else to talk about.
I don't know, man.
We
tell
got
me.
nothing else. This is it.
Nick, is there anything else on the agenda for your podcast?
Well, they're doing the Willie O'Ree Award right now. Let's see who wins that. No.
Nothing to talk about. I don't want to talk about Philly either.
No, I mean, I don't. Jordan Stahl's back with Carolina.
Eric
3 more
Hollis.
years?
Eric Hollis signed a deal.
You know what?
Is
It was
that, you want to talk about that?
Interesting thing to note, there's been a stall in Carolina for something over like 20 years straight. Because Eric
Eric got there.
started, yeah, it's been always a stall here. Now Jordan's going to be here for a few more years, and I don't know, maybe like Eric can pop one out and have it be the next captain of the Carolina. I don't know, man. It's kind of wild to think about, though. You're like, shit, man. They really have been here the whole time, and a captain too. So, yeah, cool beans. But yeah, I don't know. That's about it.
And now it's really time.
Do you think that the with contracts that the no move clause should be held in a lot higher regard than a no trade clause? Because I get Torrey Krug doesn't want to go to Philly, and we all jokingly said we want to go to Philly, but we'd all go to Philly lovingly to be in the NHL. But he controls his own destiny. He controls where he wants to go, right? And he's earned that right to do that. Do you think that GMs are just handing out no movement clause, or do you think that the players are kind of demanding these things? Where's it coming from? Is it coming more from the GM side, or is it coming more from the player side?
No, I mean, it would be coming from the players because
Yeah.
no GM is
benefit.
ever going to just volunteer that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're not going to toss that in unless it's something that the player is hinting that they want, or flat out asking for,
Right, but what type? I mean, because I don't know. Does Connor McDavid have a no movement clause? I think he does, right? Do you have to be at a certain level to get a no movement clause in your contract, or is this just like a perk or an add-on that a GM is going to give you to make you stay, or something you're going to request to stay?
If you're Edmonton, obviously you have you can't leave clause for David.
You're trapped here, fucking clause.
They call Pierre McGuire to rappel in from a helicopter, and fly and just tackle him butt naked with oil all over himself.
Connor's no movement clause is triggered in the last 4 years of the deal.
So he doesn't have anything right now. So he can
right now he can fully be. Well, actually, we're in the last 4 years of the deal.
Oh.
The deal was signed in 2018-19. So this season, next season, the year after that.
They were never going to trade him.
Of course not.
No one would pay it. No one would pay the insane. It would be like, I don't even know what that trade would look like. That would be like Lindrosian, like when he was drafted. Something insane, like 5 first rounders.
It would be like 8 players
plus
for one.
All of our players that you want, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And if I was Edmonton, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
Historically, absolutely, I would do it. Historically, it has worked out for the team that has traded that player.
The Lindros trade tree is insane. If you go back and look at that tree,
I have
all
seen
the things that came in. It's unbelievable. And that's the kind of trade that you'd have to make. And incredibly, that didn't happen for Gretzky. That happened for Lindros because of all the hype on him.
It was just a money move. Yeah.
So.
No.
Listen, I tried. But that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time.
There we go.
For Trivia with Bill. Yeah.
Now this is the wrong Bill.
That was the best one by far.
That was like a Vince McMahon-esque.
Wow.
Very good.
Can you fire Bill now?
Wow. After all these starts and stops, I don't know if I can get it up for a trivia question again. Let's give it a try. Okay.
It's called edging.
What was the longest shootout in NHL history?
The Hatfields and the McCoys, baby.
Oh, that's not accurate.
The Sittlers and the Suitors.
No. So when I say the shootout, they're actually looking for a number of rounds. A number of rounds.
69.
Oh, man, you beat us to it.
That would be long. That would be a long
It
one.
would. So
40. 40.
No, not 40. No.
20.
Boom. Nick got it. All right, we're done.
What? No way.
20 rounds.
Fucking Christ, Nick.
Jesus, Nick.
Jesus.
I thought it was like
Jesus
19
age.
or
I'm
20
nowhere near
or-
ready.
Okay, Bill, just because I know it's in the trivia book,
God
what
damn
2
it.
teams were involved?
Fuck.
It did not have that in the trivia book.
Who scored the winning shootout goal?
That information is, I could,
Who
you
were
know,
the
if we go on to the
goalies
next
involved?
segment, you can come back to me and I can tell you what it was.
What
'cause I can do
year
research.
was it? Ladies and gentlemen, I am surprising the host of this podcast with a very special bonus trivia.
What?
A very special listener submitted bonus
Okay.
trivia.
No, it's not the one.
And this one is very difficult. I don't know if you guys are going to get it.
Oh, no.
Our listener was very excited to give us this very difficult question.
Oh, God.
I know the answer, so I can't participate. The question is, in NHL history, Which two brothers combined for most points scored?
Stahl. Gunnar, and Eric Stahl.
Now, again, very difficult question. The listener was very
Two
excited
brothers.
with how difficult he believed this question was.
Harry and Daryl Sittler.
No.
It's I know it's a combination of Stahl brothers, but I got to figure out which. Was it Mark and Jordan?
I'm going to stall you right there. That's not them.
No.
Because everybody knows it was Brett and Eric Lindros.
Oh. so
Oh,
close.
there you go.
No, not the Lindrosians.
Oh, then it was Bobby and Brett Hall.
They are father and son.
Really? Huh. I'll be damned.
You are proving this boy's point.
No, we're treating you like Bill.
No, yes, I know. Because it's the fucking easiest question ever asked. But we're gonna play along with the little boy anyway.
Uh,
It was a little tricky.
Mario and Claude Lemieux.
No. Claude's
Hmm.
brother's name was Jocelyn.
Chris
The
and
triplets.
Peter Ferraro.
I was just about to do.
I think they were a close second.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say they were close cousins.
Jack and Quinn Hughes.
Oh. Will maybe
Never.
at one point
Ever. Never.
be considered also on the list.
Phil and Amanda Kessel.
Wait, this isn't the hot dog contest, Bill. Come on.
Like throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
Let's see. The Richards.
Oh yeah,
Don't
Henri
think so.
and Maurice.
No.
The Rocket and the Pocket Rocket. Could you imagine your name being the Pocket Rocket, by the way?
That's Tom's
today's
favorite
day
toy.
and age.
Yeah.
In today's day and age, my God.
After the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier, the pocket rocket was Tom's favorite.
Why'd you have to do
So
that?
sorry. Too soon.
Why'd you have to do
So
Not like I'm fucking up bringing up Voltron. Jesus Christ.
Rude.
Come on, man. We have to do that right now.
Fucked up.
Voltron, really?
We brought up
No.
the aircraft carrier. I don't want to hear his shit.
Gordie Howe had two sons that played in the NHL, Mark
Yes,
and Marty
but
Howe.
again-
How about them? Mark and Marty Howe.
Brothers, yes. Not on the list.
Oh,
Matthew and Brady Kachuk.
God damn it.
Did I read your mind? Awesome.
Almost.
that's gotta be
almost. I was gonna say
No, very
Brady,
close though.
Brady Kachuk, Chuck, and Wayne Brady.
Oh.
No, not Wayne Brady.
Oh.
Tom Brady and Wayne
Oh,
Brady.
it's got to be Tom
No.
Brady, right? Tom Brady.
Okay, let's get this answer quick, and I have a bonus trivia
Oh.
question.
Bonus?
Honorable mentions.
Or shall I
How
call
many?
it a boner bonus?
Ooh,
Wayne and Harold Gretzky.
Tom Sig-
No, so close though.
He has a brother.
What was his brother? It was named Brett. It was Brett,
Brent.
right?
Brent.
Wayne
Brent.
and
Brent
Brent,
Kritzky.
Brent.
Bonus
Brent.
trivia. What's the second highest brother combination?
Probably.
Wasn't the
Are we a
Richard?
two brother combination or all brothers combination?
I don't know what your question is.
What?
Like, is it the Sutter brothers? Is it like the
No,
six
No,
Sutter
just
brothers?
two
17.
brothers, two
brothers,
two
okay.
players.
Two brothers. Sedin brothers?
See, this one's more difficult.
It's
Not
not
the
the.
Sedins.
Okay, if it's not Sedin's, then it's not. What's his name?
Was it anybody we mentioned already?
Yeah.
Henri. and
Yes,
Maurice
it is
Richard.
a set of brothers that have been mentioned already.
Yeah, I said the Richards already.
Gordy.
It is not the
Gordy-
Richards.
Really?
Gordy and Mark. How?
It is not the house.
We gotta answer the same question.
Brothers.
Brothers, yes.
It wasn't the
Others.
Lindrosses.
It was not the Lindrosses.
Jordan and Eric Stahl.
It is not the Stalls.
They play in the 90s.
I believe they came up in the 90s.
Were they
No.
all-stars?
No, they couldn't have come up in the 90s.
Were they all-stars?
Yes.
Had
Were
to
they
be, had to be.
offensive?
One of them
Were they
was.
offensive
Had to be
forwards?
off.
This is the wrong.
Fucking dickhead. They were drafted in the 90s and made their debut in the 2000s.
Sedins?
Yes, it was the Sedins.
Nick hates them.
Shit.
Yes.
Oh my God, does Nick hate
Didn't I
them?
say the Sedins? The
It
first
was the
it was
Sedin
Sedins.
brothers.
That was Nick's first guess when the second
First
trivia
fucking
question
thing.
was.
God
Yes.
damn it.
He said it. He
Mike
said
Gardner.
it was not.
Adam Graves.
Adam
So
fucking Graves. Fucking
So the Gretzky's-
cocksucker.
the Gretzky's combined for 2861. Sedin's 2036.
That's some good trivia.
See, it's always better when you have all the information too to supply.
By the way, 20 rounds, Florida over Washington. Nick Boogastad was the game winner in the 20th round.
My God, it's Bukestad, Nick.
Boogastad.
Boogastad!
Boogastad. Booga booga.
See, told you. Favorite game
Oh.
ever. Favorite game ever. He said Bukestad.
And now it's time for impressions with Nick.
Fucking great. Ladies and gentlemen, the Friends and Rivals podcast. You're ready for the fastest 2 minutes of this Type 45 show. It's the 20 questions power play. The rules are simple. The group has 2 minutes to guess a famous player, coach, front office, or any famous person associated with one of the 4 Friends and Rivals favorite teams. The group can ask up to 20 questions in rapid fire. Answers will only come in the form of yes or no. The group will have to make a final guess once they've hit 20 questions or the power play has expired. If the group is successful, they win for the week and avoid shame for unable to win at a children's game. And away we go. All right. Tonight is I'm looking for 2 names.
What?
Oh no.
I'm looking for
We
2
lost
names. They're both related to the draft. Okay, that's the only hint for you.
Every
We're
player,
so fucked.
almost every
already.
player was drafted.
Was player associated with the New York Rangers?
No,
Is this player associated with the New Jersey Devils?
no,
Player associated with the Pittsburgh Penguins.
no.
Is this player associated with the New York Islanders?
Yes.
Nick
Are-
Boogastad.
Were both of these players drafted by the New York Islanders?
Yes.
Were both of these players drafted by the New York Islanders in the same year?
No.
Were these players drafted in the 90s?
No.
Players drafted in the 2000s.
Yes.
It was one of them, John Tavares.
Yes.
All right.
Is the other player Calvin DeHaan?
No.
Just figured that would be a good callback from before.
Was the other player drafted in the first round?
Good call.
No.
The other player a forward?
Yes.
Is the other player currently in the NHL?
Yes.
Player currently on the Islanders.
Yes.
Is it Josh Bailey?
Josh Bailey?
No.
Is it Matt Martin?
No.
Marcel was first rounder.
Goalie? He hasn't been around that long, right? No.
Casey Cizikas.
No.
Bo Horvat.
No.
You've got to pull something out of their ass.
Yeah, it's
A Pellick or a Pullock?
Wallstrom.
No to both of those. All right. Last guess.
Scott Mayfield.
Defenseman, Bill.
Two captains were drafted on this day.
Andres Lee. Fuck.
Anders Lee.
Sons of bitches.
So we got half a goal.
I forgot. Oh yeah,
It was a two-man advantage.
We got no goal. We're 15 for 30.
Wait, we got one goal. What are you talking about?
We got no goal.
Advantage.
No goal.
It was,
It was a double minor.
It's the
It was a double
NHL.
minor.
Upon further review, the puck did not completely cross the line. No goal.
It was a double minor.
So, all right. So, am I saying then 16 for 31?
Yeah, I think that's more gooder.
16 for 31. Okay. Oh, you're crazy, stupid math.
Let's go to State and Steve Stomach.
Oh, that feels better.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Round here, we're saving calories. Round here, we all look so lean. Round here, we enjoy Coke Zero, but sacrifice flavor, no. Round here, Coke Zero's the way to go.
And this one's going to bring us to the year of our Lord 2012. Please go. April 25th, 425-2012.
April 25th was a Tuesday. Breakfast was a banana.
Insert joke here.
Lunch was half of a bologna and cheese and a can of Coca-Cola Classic. Dinner was some pasta and eggplant parm, also with a Coca-Cola Classic. And the Condors lost that night 5-4. That was a tough one. I remember that game. Why did you pick Wednesday, April 25th, 2012?
Obviously, that was the day that a man was cited at a Burbank Sears for simulating sex with a mannequin. A 55-year-old man was cited Tuesday for allegedly exposing his genitals and simulating sex with a mannequin inside the Sears in downtown Burbank. Mateo Garcia was allegedly caught in the act by loss prevention officers at about 11:45 a.m. The man approached the female mannequin from behind, grabbed onto the mannequin, and was making inappropriate movements. Adding that this took place in the women's clothing department and that the mannequin was fully clothed. The female store security guard told Burbank police that Garcia appeared to be inappropriately having sex with a store mannequin. Garcia was placed under citizen's arrest until police arrived and cited him for allegedly exposing himself in public, which is a misdemeanor, by the way. He's scheduled to appear in LA Superior Court on May 15th. That's what happened April 25th, 2012.
Time's a creep. Time is a weirdo. Where does he come up with the shit? It's so disgusting.
Citizen's arrest was like just a made up thing made up by Karens.
I mean, if she's a female store security guard, is she really a Karen?
Well, I mean, she's got a reason to be, I suppose, but I just didn't know that was a real thing.
And when you put somebody on under citizen's arrest, do you have to run around screaming citizen's arrest, citizen's arrest? Like, how do you do that?
Like every.
It was Bob Goldthwait who put him under arrest.
No, they were citizens on patrol.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
But
Oh, look, Eric Carlson won the
I wanted to
fucking
help you
Norris.
with your
Good for
reference.
Fucking homo. Why don't you get traded somewhere?
50-year-old movie.
What, Police Academy?
Yeah, I feel like that's
It's not. It's definitely not 50 years old.
maybe not 50, but it's up there.
No, but it's 40.
Yeah,
I think
it's
40.
almost there.
Jesus. Yeah. Holy fuck.
Well,
We're
the
old.
first one was, but the fourth one, I gotta say that's what, 35.
Not any better.
Were you still watching when we got around to Police Academy 4?
I watched 5. That's when I stopped.
Ugh.
But
That's
the
when you
assign-
stopped?
The
What was-
assignment Miami
What
Beach
was 5?
great.
Police Academy in 3D.
No, that was the assignment Miami Beach. That was Wayne Gretzky's
anybody?
wife was in it.
Oh yeah.
Janet
I
Jones.
thought you were going to say that one was unwatchable.
No.
As
No,
opposed to-
the next one was unwatchable.
There was a
6?
6.
There was 9. or
Stop.
8. There
What?
was City Under Siege was after Miami Beach, and then something about Russia and Moscow was.
I feel like
think,
City
number 8.
Underwater would be a good one too.
Movie underwater. Jesus. It's fucking.
James Cameron
Th-
could direct it because he loves
Oh.
everything underwater.
I mean, did they get that in the submarine?
See Billy laugh. That's okay.
That was like more next. that was good. That was good. Next week we'll have more to talk about.
A lot more to talk about.
I hope so.
Sure will.
We were literally done in under 50 minutes.
We're not done yet. You have to tell him to do his thing.
Oh, we're totally done.
No, you got to do the thing with the thing to
I gotta
really
do the
wrap it up.
the
Thing with
All
the
right.
thing. The thing
All
with
right,
the
that's
thing.
gonna do it for us. Thankfully, don't forget to follow us at Twitter at friends_rivals, Facebook, YouTube, Friends and Rivals podcast. While you're on the Apple Podcast, leave us a review. We'll read on the air if you want us to. Turn on notifications for our podcast so you never miss an episode. Billy, say something. Woody.
No, not after this episode. I'm not wasting one. Get it.
Good call.
All right, then just sing us out then.
Good call. It was a disappointment.
Oh, my friends